So I've been jumping back into like the sneaker and fashion world after being on a crazy hiatus. It's getting really wild, bro. Like all these new collabs, these different brands and creators coming out the woodwork. Like we got a Hellstar and Adidas collab. That's something I never really thought would happen. And I mean, I love that for the culture for sure. I love it. But the shoes were pretty expensive. It's a lot of different brands and different people coming out the woodwork. Like we got another Kith collab. We got Nigo doing his own thing with Nike and some new stuff going on with Saucony, which I will get to later for sure. But it's just so crazy that even 5 years ago, collaborations were not as prominent as today. With this influx of new drops in the sneaker community, I wanted to touch on 4 of the best sneaker designers as of late. There have been a lot of sneaker drops that have just been poop, like I said, like a lot of bullshit coming out. And I feel like these people need their credit for being some of the most creative, not just with storytelling, but with the color palettes and the materials. Now, the first person I want to talk about is an innovator in the fashion world. This man was offered millions of dollars in a LeBron sneaker from Nike, but turned it down in order to be able to collab freely and start his own brand, Sponge. This person who brought the idea to Versace to make their own shoes, the creator of the Versace chain reaction, Salehi Bembury. Now, Salehi is legendary, I'm not gonna lie. His reputation precedes him as being part of the team that created the iconic Yeezy 350 V2 to the head of men's footwear for Versace, and came up with the campaign with 2 Chainz for the chain reaction shoe. Eventually, he made his own brand called Sponge, where he released a couple of different colorways. And Salehi's just tough. I feel like he's a very unique person and unique stylist. Like when you see his color palette, like you know it, like you know that's Salehi. And I like how with the Crocs collab he did, their low-key look like a fingerprint. Like all his stuff has a fingerprint on it. To me, it kind of shows like him leaving a piece of his DNA wherever he is. And I kind of just love that feel his shoes give. It's really those colors, like those tones of colors and the mashing of colors where you can really see his artistry. He's collab with a lot of brands as well. He's collab with brands like Puma, New Balance, and even, like I said, Crocs. I just recently found out who Salehi was, and it's crazy because I didn't know he was the curator of all these shoes. I loved his work before I even realized who made it. I always thought that the Polex Croc was tough, and like I said, how it was made to look like a fingerprint with all these details and colors and the materials on that clog. Like, and even before that, being at high school, like with no money, just scrolling on StockX and seeing the Versace chain reaction, then now I'm seeing like he was the one that created that shoe, and I didn't know that shoe was just so fire because I had never seen anything done like that. And the chain reaction with the 2 Chainz, that was a fire concept. He's just a great curator. And then now I'm seeing and really appreciating the New Balance collabs, like the 1906R, the Heat Be Hot Lava, or the Heat Be Hot Magma. Those are fire. The 2002R, Water Be the Guide, and the Peace Be the Journey. And that's just to name a few. Like Salehi, unlike other people on this list, actually went to school for design, not just shoe design, really just design of everything. Like he could design a cup if he wanted to, like, and it kind of gives him an edge over most because he is classically trained, quote unquote. And so his knowledge on colors and materials is a little more in depth than the average person. He has such a unique style and flair to his designs and color palettes. Like I love his mixture of colors and how he keeps his roots in nature and uses this as an inspiration for his designs. I want to move on to a person that really came out the woodwork for me personally. He is a rapper and a person who I didn't really know was creating shoes until I seen one of his shoes and was like, oh yeah, that's fire. And that person is Action Bronson, bro. He really started like just dropping heat fresh out the gate. Now, the thing that really separated him from a lot of other celebrities who step into the sneaker space and just start collaborating is that he is very hands-on. His collabs with New Balance don't feel as though they're just his in name only. You can tell he actually put in some time designing and really trying to make these shoes work. What makes Action Bronson special is that his sneakers are an extension of his his personality. Bold, unapologetic, and slightly chaotic, but still very tasteful. He leans into colors that people are usually scared to use. Instead of shying away, he doubles down. Like, look at the 1906R, the Rosewater. I ain't gonna lie, my favorite shoe from Action Bronson has to be that Rosewater. Those are crazy. First of all, the 1906R is a very new silhouette for me, and so I've been learning to like that silhouette, and that shoe made me love that silhouette. I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen them use that type of material on that upper. Usually use like a type of netting or like a type of mesh, but that material is low-key like a nylon type of material on the upper. Like it's crazy. And then the slight pink, the white with that super dark kind of dirty yellow, that is so fire, bro. That midsole looks like it's little dirt. Like that shit look like desert dirt. Like, I don't know how to describe that. It looks like a dry type of dirt, like, but it's so, like, that color is so fire. I'm not gonna lie. The Scorpius is crazy too. I've never seen that color used on the 1906R, like that yellow, that super bright yellow. He understands how to balance the loud uppers and the grounded soles with crazy details and materials that don't overwhelm the shoe. You can tell Action Bronson isn't designing to please anyone, and that's why his sneakers really hit. Like, that's why his sneakers are very personable. Like, they're personable to him. Even Lil Yachty on the Complex panel, he said one of his shoes like actually looks like him.
This shoe is funny. This shoe looks like him. Like if he was a shoe, I could see like that shoe's like, I had the turkey sandwich with the.
That's great. You can see him in the shoe. That's what makes a lot of Action Bronson's shoes very fire, because you know that they're not just a one-off. Like, he's just throwing his name on the shoe and like that's it. Like, they're very much Action Bronson shoes, and like it's an intention behind the shoe. Now, this next person is newer to the scene, but has killed every collab he has worked on, with his use of very vibrant and loud colors and really being in his storytelling bag. The man himself, J-Tips. J-Tips is very new, but really took over the game with his hats at first, with the crazy colors. Then he switched to the shoes, and Sauconys are fire, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, J-Tips is also a fire storyteller. Like, the Flowers Grow Uptown, that whole pack of shoes, like those 4 shoes, bro, that story, like, he took the inspiration from the flowers that grow naturally in New York and turned that into a shoe. Like, that's just such a fire concept in and of itself. Like, before you even see the shoes, like turning your environment and what you grew up used to into like a work of art people can really see, and it's personable. Like, it's your own thing. Like, you grew up in New York and you're the one really creating the colors and designing this shoe and putting those colors together so that they can really tell the story. Like I said, it's a fire concept, but seeing the shoes, like, the shoes are fire, bro. He crushed every single one of those shoes. Really, to be able to take something like a Saucony, which was a shoe for a long time, or at least like I thought was like a dad shoe, or just sneakers that no one really wore. Like, to me, it was like a white man shoe, like a middle-aged white man shoe. Like, that's the type of shoe Saucony was to me, at least. But they're really like a running shoe, and to be able to like flip the script, like, he turned what would naturally be a shoe that wouldn't resonate with the culture and people wouldn't put on their feet, to really put that on like with a fit. Like, it's kind of crazy to me. You have people like Westside Gunn, who was rocking Sauconys, and that was his whole thing. You see him with his collab with Saucony too, which is also crazy. Just an honorable mention, Westside Gunn. You see them turning these shoes into something that the culture will really love and really rock, because a lot of people weren't rocking Sauconys, if any, that were in around this sneaker space for real. Another thing with J-Tips is his color palette. It's very vibrant. He really takes these loud and obscure colors and blends them together into something like the I love you but I'm busy. Those are fire. I actually have those shoes. I bought those shoes. Or like the Poison Ivy, which are fire. The red with the UNC blue with the green. Bro, I've never seen those colors like put together. If I seen them put together, they weren't put together like that, bro. That's just such a crazy combination combination of colors, and that Omni 9 was the perfect shoe to use for that. And I heard in an interview he even talked about how, like, when he was coming up with the shoes that he would use for his collaboration with Saucony, he was like, he would only use shoes he would wear. Like, he's not going to use a shoe that's just some bullshit just to do the collab. Like, he wants to be able to actually really wear his own shoes. I really think J Tips is such a slept on sneaker designer in the shoe space, even though he did have his shoe on the Complex Top 10 and he did have a booth at Complex, which was crazy, bro. I still think he's a very slept on person in the sneaker space. Like, I feel like he doesn't have enough buzz around his name and not enough people know who he is. Of course, the sneaker heads and the people who are really deeply into sneakers know who he is. And if you from New York, I'm pretty sure you know who J Tips is. I feel like he should be like a mainstream name. He's kind of like the underground, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really know, you know type of shit. But I think like he needs to really be pushed forward, in my opinion. And I just seen he has a collab coming up with New Era, which is fire, bro. I just love to see black men in this space, like a designer in the shoe game. And our culture has been pushing this for so long, like pushing this space for so long. And it's just great to see like black men thriving in this space. Now, I want to keep this trend of highlighting the success of black men in the sneaker space by highlighting someone who has been running the game with his New Balance collabs and really putting intention into his sneakers, and that is no other than Joe Freshgoods. Now, Joe Freshgoods really puts black culture into his art, and you can really see that with examples like the Keisha Blues. It was inspired by Keisha Belly and how that movie was cold. It was cold in color, the blue tint across the entire movie. And so that shoe, which is reselling for upwards of $700, was inspired by a black movie. But you can see he really puts these black stories into his creations. Like, even with the 1998 campaign for his streetwear brand, and he created visuals for it, like a video. It had the parallels scenes from Belly, which I thought was really fire. And it's not a lot of people telling these black stories that need to be told, such as like Outside Clothes. His whole campaign with that shoe was fire. The Keisha Blues are fire too, which I just had to say that. But these black stories that feel so personal, especially to me being a black man, and so I just resonate with those so deeply, and I really have a different type of understanding when I see it. And it's not only that, it's also the shoes are fire, yo. Like, the shoes are hitting. When you have something that tells a story that is just personal to me and my people, and also you make fire stuff, people are gonna love it. Like, there's no way people wouldn't love these things that you're producing. And like, for example, the powder blue and the Arctic blue and the sage, all of those, like, I feel like those three are really together because they're very similar in not color but like scheme though. Like, they have like a rustic kind of scheme to them. When you make stuff like that, or even the Outside Clothes or the 2002 R's he has, I can't think of the name right now, but those are fire too. Like, I just think that Joe Freshgoods is a person who makes fire shoes, but also a sneaker designer that we as black people need. Like, we need him to tell these black stories. We need more stories like this pushed forward into sneaker culture, because the thing that's holding up sneaker culture, the pillars that are really the foundation to sneaker culture, is black culture, is black people. We've pushed this in our own culture so much that it's something that can't be torn down, especially to the black community. Like, we've pushed it so far up and propped it in such a position of worth to our people. People were killing each other over sneakers, bro, over Jordans at one point. And I think it's so important to have a person such as Joe Freshgoods telling our stories for us, because we aren't in a position to tell them, or a position yet to tell them. He kind of reminds me of a Mom and Year and how they tell kind of black stories. But yeah, those are the four horsemen of sneaker designs. Y'all really showed love on the last video, bro. That joint got 600 views, and I really appreciate everything you guys do, liking the videos, subscribing. I'm really on the way to get 100 subscribers. We're almost there, but really on the road to get 1,000 and to get 5,000 and get 10,000. Like, I really want to just make this the biggest thing ever. So comment down below your thoughts, or people who I may have missed that you feel like I should have really put in the video. And yeah, y'all run this up like y'all did the last video, because that was crazy. But I think I'm transitioning my content over to more of the fashion and the shoes and the sneaker space, just because I feel like I can really talk on subjects like this for a really long time, and I'm changing my style of how I do these videos. So, but yeah, man, like, comment, subscribe, and like I always say, just so nice. You had to say it twice, man. I'm gone.